We've talked about the Roho cushion in another YouTube video. This is a Roho cushion. It's made to fit the size of the chair. Has so many rows this way, so many rows that way of the little air cushions. And so they're uniquely made for the chair. And you've got the controls here, on and off. You have to get it just right. This cushion on the back, the interesting thing is the metal plate on the back has a bunch of bolts in it. And those hurt. So we actually had to get a heavier cushion here, and I padded the cushion behind it so that it was better padded and those bolts didn't get her. So that was a new cushion that we had. You can take the cushion off. Oh, there's the padding and the bolts. What I did, the Roho cushion comes up. There are bolts right here. And so I took a piece of foam packing material and cut holes so that the bolts came through, and then put it against it so that this didn't hit the bolts, it hit this packing material. And I just used the tape again to tape it on, and that's been there a couple of years. The tape holds really, really well. So the cushion was padded, and we actually got a heavier cushion padding here for her. You might note that there's tape marks here. We got her arm would fall back on the armrest, and it would get caught back, and she couldn't get it back up. So I just taped a piece of foam here, and for 6 months or so, our guys weren't too responsive, I'm going to admit. We used the foam to block her arm so that the arm didn't fall back and didn't fall off the wheelchair so that she couldn't get it back up. About a week, 2 weeks before she died, we got these little armrests, and they would keep her arm from falling back off the back of the wheelchair, falling too far back, because once she fell back, she couldn't get the arm back up. So we got these little things. We didn't use them very long, but they seemed to work pretty good, and we could adjust them the way we wanted them, and that would hold her arm on the chair. So the back cushion was important. We got a much thicker one finally, because she could feel those bolts behind the cushion. So we got the thicker one. And then of course we had the Roho cushion on the bottom, which we've talked about. I think we talked about adjusting the Roho cushion, is that right? So that was pretty good. One other thing, her legs would fall apart. And if the legs fall apart, the hip gets screwed up. So for a while we took just a piece of strapping, seatbelt type strapping, and put a couple of pieces of Velcro on it, and would wrap it around her legs and would tie the legs together, just Velcro them here, so that they weren't falling apart all of the time. Then we got some supports. They go in a bar here. The chair's actually very well designed. There's a bar that it slides in right here, and we slid the leg supports in, and then they were here so that they could support her legs, so her leg wouldn't fall off. And there's one on both sides, and we could keep her legs basically together the way we wanted them, so that her hips didn't begin to hurt. It doesn't start immediately, but if the legs are apart very long, then you're going to hurt the hips. They don't bother to tell you that all of the time, and it makes it hard to know what to do, so that's why I'm telling you now. Get it early. She did like the cup holder. It wasn't big enough to hold the cup with the Lockline straw on it, but she always had a cup here, and me or the aides, the nursing aides, would continually pick up the cup and give her a drink so she could stay well hydrated. The arms go up and down, obviously, on the chair, and that makes it relatively flexible. So we've talked about what did we talk about in this one? The headrest and the arm supports back here, and also the leg supports.